Well, Alex, this movie is so precious, and I feel like there's so many great lessons that kids can learn, but adults too. And one line that really stuck with me is when Nightmare reminds Elliot that nightmares make us strong enough to face the unknown. I love that line. How did that idea kind of shape the real stakes for Stevie and Elliot so that dream danger really matters?
Yeah. So I'm so glad that you pointed it out. It was one of the things, one of the original ideas that really inspired this film. I mean, I really made this film because I feel like there's so much pressure on people and kids to live these perfect lives and to make their dreams come true, especially in American culture. Um, and there's at some level it's healthy. It's healthy to have, ambition and to aspire for something, but there can be a dark side if it becomes too important. It becomes almost like an idol in your life. It can turn dark, and you can sort of lose um, a sense of like what's actually right and important in life, and you can neglect all these other aspects of your life. And conversely, with dreams, or sorry, with nightmares, I feel like in the moments in my life that I've learned the most, or that I've grown the most, or that my relationships have been strengthened the most, is when I'm in my sort of darkest times, when I'm like things don't go the way that I want them to. It feels like I'm living a literal nightmare in my waking life. Um, but I've grown from it, I've learned from it, and it's prepared me for the future. And so I really wanted with this film to change the conversation around both dreams and nightmares and sort of add some more nuance and complexity to it, because I think it's a little bit too black and white, that we should always pursue our dreams no matter what in full force, and we should always avoid nightmares and see them in such a negative light.
We see time and time again that that's not even healthy for kids, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think, there's again, like there's so much pressure on people to live these perfect lives. And when their lives don't turn out perfect, like, in social media, people are presenting these like fake versions of themselves. You feel like you're less than, or you feel like you're a failure, or feel like, something's wrong with you. And I just think that's not true. And so I really wanted to try and address that with this film. So
Well, you did a fantastic job. And there's another scene where Night Mara reminds the kids that you get through chaos by finding something true and constant, something that's always been there. What universal truth did you hope families would recognize through this really kind of tender moment?
yeah, I mean, the saying is that the only constant thing is life is change, and life is constantly changing, especially when you're young. Change happens so quickly. Um, but the constant thing is love, and your family and the people that you love and that love you in your life, and that's really what helps you get through the change. So that's what's helped me get through all the changes in my life, and so I think hopefully that's what will help other people get through all the changes and evolutions in their life. So yeah, that would be my hope, is that that's sort of the takeaway or the wisdom that they get from this film.
Well, I have to ask you about my favorite scene, which is the breakfast world and the zombie foods. I absolutely loved it. It's so funny, but there's also kind of like an emotional logic beneath that sequence. So tell me a little bit about that and how you played that to move Stevie's heart and not just the plot along.
That's a great question. So, yeah, I mean, what we try to do with this film is every single dreamscape that they visit is rooted in some sort of real world experience that they have, because that's kind of how dreams are for me, right? When I'm like going through my experience in the day, people, places, things that I encounter during the day end up in my dreams at night. And so I wanted to reflect that same dynamic in Stevie and Elliot's life. And the opening of the movie is this family breakfast, right? It's with Stevie and her parents. This sort of recurring dream that she has. And that's very much drawn from my own life. Like when I was a kid, my mom would make us French toast every Sunday morning. We'd have family breakfast together. And that represents such a idyllic time in my life. And it really, food is so connected to memories and emotion. And French toast really feels like family to me. And so that's why when Stevie goes into the dream world, she sort of embraces the journey. Um, she's taken to a breakfast town, because breakfast represents like family to her and home to her. And then of course it turns into a nightmare. So that was the sort of the thematic and character logic behind it, and not just sort of the plot logic behind it.